Okay, Andrew, people's obviously greatest concern is going to be animal welfare.
Absolutely, yeah.
So your experience of that and making sure the animal drops.
Okay, having spent a lot of time shooting lead bullets, very often with lead bullets, particularly with boat tails actually, you end up with this situation. You find a piece of copper in the animal, and not far from it you find the little mushroom back end of the lead. This is called bullet separation, and this is what relatively inexpensive hunting bullets do. Now if you pulled this out of a dead animal, you could fairly ask the question, at what stage in the animal's instant death did the bullet fail? It killed the animal, but technically speaking the bullet fell apart. So with lead bullets, a long time ago, probably 40 years ago, Nosler came up with the partition. It's one of the ways of getting around this total destruction of a lead bullet. RWS also do the H-Mantel. It's a copper jacket in two parts. There's a hard lead slug in the back, and then you have the copper jacket separating in the middle, and then they put soft lead in the top, and the bullets formed around it. So the front end is designed to basically blow up, which is what that's done. It's actually gone. You can see the front end's gone. So 40% of the bullet weight in the lead is in the animal somewhere, but it's designed to hold together. So you don't get this falling apart effect. You get a bullet staying together well effect. This is an interesting one. This was a shot that was put into an animal which actually had been wounded some years ago now at very extended range. And this is a 308 bullet, and it's a lead tip bullet that was designed to expand, but in shooting it at over 400 yards at an animal that was going away with a broken leg, you can see it hasn't really expanded much at all. That would have what we call under expanded, and again it was taken out of a dead animal, but you know, it was a finishing off shot at long range. But that's what happens to lead bullets when there's not much velocity with them. When we get onto the copper bullets, here's a Barnes TSX. This is an original, one of the older Barnes X's. This is probably 25, 30 years old. I've still got some left. And again, this is taken out of an animal. I think it was a fallow deer, and it was shot at a quartering angle. Normally you can't recover these because they go through basically. And it hit the shoulder, quartering on the way in, and you can see the damage to the bullet there from hitting the bones. But actually it's still retained over 90% of its weight. One of the little petals snapped off. This is classic performance, and you'll see this with the majority of brands of copper bullet that are now fully developed. The Hornady GMX does the same, the Barnes TTSX does the same. This is classically brilliant bullet performance. Now they're designed to do this between, well, above 2,200 feet per second. If you hit an animal at 3,500 feet per second, you can snap one or two of the petals off. Whoop. You can snap one or two of the petals off, but basically you get this weight retention. You can see another one again. This is taken out of an animal I shot in Africa a couple of years ago, and it was a quartering shot on a kudu. So we got the bullet, but look at this. It's virtually got blades on it. And bear in mind, this is going into the animal, rotating like that, 25 to 30,000 RPM. And if you see the ballistic media that's shot with this, there's plenty of videos available on Google, just put in copper bullets ballistic media, you can see the very rapid expansion, the tremendous energy dump. So from the point of view of humanely dealing with animals, so long as you go for the formula, light for caliber, reasonably high velocity, you don't have to hand load, some manufacturers are doing this, you're on. There's a lot of tradition in hunting and in cartridge makers and gun makers, and there's still a lot of ammunition like this which is being loaded in for say 308 using a 170 or 180 grain bullet that isn't terribly quick. And if you're shooting a wild boar in the shoulder with it, or a big red European stag, or an African big antelope, it's performing well. But if you're putting it into a roe deer in an English wood, you can get, again, a sort of example of this, insufficient expansion, not quite enough energy dump. So the future, as I say, as they've discovered with steel shot, it's basically down to speed.